Fried rice was one of my favourite things to eat growing up, and it was about as exotic as we got in my house. Since then, I've come a long way, and I now love kedgeree, which is the Indian version of fried rice. So curry, eggs, rice, and everything else you could possibly think that could be yummy, you put in on rice, which is kind of what fried rice is anyway. But just like fried rice, I advise you to cook your rice beforehand. So I've got 2 cups of basmati rice, which we've cooked, washed, and put in the fridge to cool down. Normally overnight is better, but 6 hours would get you there. So if you cook your rice in the morning, you'd be right to have this for lunch. If you cook your rice at lunch, you'd be right to have this for dinner. Now if your rice is cooked and cooled, this dish comes together in about 10 minutes, so it's nice and quick. A couple of knobs of butter and a little bit of our mountain pepperberry canola oil, just so our butter doesn't burn and to add a little bit of extra flavour. And as the heat comes out, that will start to foam, the butter will start to foam. So in with that, we've got some spring onions, a couple of cloves of garlic, which we've diced, and about a 2 centimetre knob of ginger. Mix that around, and now I want to cook that for about 2 or 3 minutes until it becomes, we always say, aromatic. So you've woken up all the oils inside the stuff that you're cooking and you can smell it in the room. And once you can smell it in the room, we can move on to the next step. And the next step is bay leaves go in, and then we're going to put in some Keen's curry powder and some Keen's mustard powder to get those Indian flavours into our kedgeree. Now we've cooked off our spices, I can peel my fish and get that in. So this is the lemon pepper, which great combination with the flavours that we've got in there. I'm just going to flake that up into the pan. I'll keep the skin, I don't want the skin in there. You can put the skin in if you wanted to, if you were so inclined, but I'm not going to. So that goes in, I'll give that a stir, and then I'm going to pop in a tin of crushed tomatoes. Now I'm going to cook that down and just get, with crushed tomatoes, there's always a little bit of that juice that makes them a little bit watery. So I just want to cook that out. And while that's happening, I can get the rest of my ingredients ready to go in. And mix that all through. Start to cook that down. So with that, I'm going to pop in some, the juice of 1 lemon. I'm going to chop some coriander. I'm going to put half of the coriander in and leave the other half for garnish. So the top bits, the nice delicate bits, I'll just leave there for garnish, and the rest, the roots and the rough bits, I'll chop up roughly and pop that in. So that can go in with our mix. Give that a stir. Our lemon juice can go in now. So the juice of 1 lemon. I want to check at this point for seasoning and make sure, I know I'm going to need salt because I've put a tin of crushed tomatoes in there, and make sure I've got enough salt. Taste. Oh, yum. That is wonderfully good. I'm very happy with that. So you can see these little pools, there's still a few pools of quite watery tomato. That's what I'm trying to cook out. So I want this to be quite dry and not soupy. I don't want to have enough moisture in there that I start to overcook the rice again and it falls apart. So we just want to get rid of all of those little pools, and then we can finish off. So you can see those little bubbles, that means it's nice and dry now. We give that one last mix. Our rice can go in, 2 cups of cooked rice. Stir that in. At this point, I reckon the residual heat in the pan is going to take care of the cooking, so I can turn my pan off. Now, you can put your eggs in at this point and stir them through, or you can place them on the dish when you're plating up. It's completely up to you. It depends on whether or not you want broken eggs in there or you want them to be whole. I'll put a few in, and we'll break a few of them up, and then I'll leave some to place on top. So you can see how it looks quite nice with the unbroken egg placed on top. Stir some of them in. The egg is an integral part of this dish. It's one of the best bits. So you can see how dry that is, which is what you want. You don't want it to be soupy, you want it to be quite dry. And so many cultures have got versions of this kind of dish, a rice kind of dish. You think of nasi goreng. Okay, Now that's about it. I'm happy with that. I just want to make a little dressing to go on the top. So some yogurt, a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons of yogurt. Now this is a line that I've obviously zested in the past. These are fine to keep. If you zest them, put them back in your bowl, hold on to them for juice. So just because you've had the zest taken off, it actually doesn't do anything to the juice. So the juice of 1 or probably half a lime, just making a little bit of salt in there, for seasoning, for dressing, mix that around. And I want the dressing to be quite wet. Okay, time to plate up. Nice big plate, spoon. Big heap spoonfuls. In the middle of the plate. A few of those fresher eggs, or the ones that haven't been broken. Just place them on. As I said, this dish is as much about egg as it is about rice. Picked coriander, we're holding back for garnish, some of that on top. And then our dressing, the spoon around the plate. And that's it. A refreshing lunch or dinner. A little bit of a different take on, if you're a fried rice lover, kind of similar, just a different cultured cuisine. You think about Indian and how they do a rice dish. So there we go, kedgeree or kitchery, or it's got lots of different names, but kedgeree, my version of it.